I work for Xponential Fitness, and we are a portfolio fitness company, and we franchise out 10 different franchise concepts in 10 different modalities across boutique fitness. We're also a publicly traded company and have been on the NYSE, New York Stock Exchange, for over 2 years. Yeah, so when I went to Chapman, I was in the MBA program with an emphasis in entrepreneurship. I chose Chapman because it brought me back to California and near my family, but more importantly, I loved the vibe of the campus and the community and the people that I met throughout the interview process. I also loved the way that the classes were tailored and the way that the full-time schedule was put together. And I knew that I would be able to go all in on my education and get a great education in a condensed time frame. In the entrepreneurship program, I had incredible experiences working with tons of mentors. I also had the opportunity to work for the center and get a sneak peek and behind the scenes look at all the inner workings of what went into putting together a company, an incubator. So that was really great and exciting and served me well after Chapman. I took some of that skill set and information into my next venture and business opportunities after leaving Chapman. When thinking about the competition and making sure to stay ahead, really it's about solving kind of customer problems and having a foresight for what are other industries doing and how can you apply that to the current industry that you're in. In boutique fitness, it tends to be very mom and pop operations. It tends to be either fitness trainers or passion projects of people who are spinning up their own gym and location. When we brought franchising to yoga wasn't, a new boutique concept or methodology, but franchising yoga was a new idea. So really we took an age-old practice of franchising and applied it to an age-old practice of yoga, and we're able to come with a concept and a business plan that eventually allowed us to sell nearly 500 units domestically and have really great success with our franchise partners in that model. So one of the common questions that we get from franchise partners is how to go out and market and bring the local brand name to their community. And our best advice is really to try everything and anything initially. So that might be showing up at kids' baseball games wearing your branded t-shirt, to walking the streets carrying your branded bags. A lot of that doesn't cost a ton of money, but really it's meeting the consumer in a lot of different ways so that they're seeing online advertising at the same time that they're actually seeing you at the farmer's market and then receiving a flyer in the mail. And it's each of those touch points that remind them of the product and service that you're providing. And we do typically know that it takes about 7 interactions before the customer goes, oh, I've seen that logo before, or I know what that brand is. So it's getting creative, and how do you get that brand or logo in front of the consumer 7+ times and doing it in an economical way. So we look at a lot of different mediums to bring that to fruition, but there's a lot of power in grassroots marketing and being hyper local and getting the one mile radius to know your brand, and then conquering the 2-mile radius and going above and beyond that, but really making sure that you have a deep penetration in your local market as a starting point. As a student who was incubating a concept and an idea at the Leatherby Center, I was able to come with something that I thought was exciting and groundbreaking, and then meet with various mentors along the way that would give feedback, and most importantly, give me perspective on ways to approach and think about the market and the business opportunity. So that was a huge takeaway for me, is really learning the critical skills of how to drive and execute a successful company. And that a lot of the times it's not necessarily about the idea, but it's more about the execution and the way that you launch and incubate an idea and bring it to fruition. So that was huge for me in the way that I currently approach problem solving and different entrepreneurial tasks, even within the company that I'm with today, is looking at it from various perspectives, making sure that we've got collaboration across all of the different departments that need to weigh in, so that we can really find the best pathway forward with executing on an idea and a plan. Yeah, when I attended Chapman, I did a lot of work with Nicholas Meir and went on the international trip. And that was a huge highlight of my time with Chapman and in the business program. Learned a ton. We traveled to Scandinavia, and I think we were there for 2 weeks. And we went to the Angry Birds headquarters, which was really exciting. My best advice for a rising entrepreneur is to show up every day and give it the best that you possibly can each and every day. There's going to be a ton of obstacles that will be thrown in your way, whether that's making and meeting payroll on a biweekly basis, whether that's legal issues that come up or customer issues that come up. And really it's dealing with the facts and the data and the information that you have at hand and making the best decision that you possibly can without getting paralyzed by overanalyzing and overthinking the situation, but sometimes taking a fire, aim approach and being comfortable with potentially making mistakes and not making the most perfect decision, but making a decision and continuing to move forward.